Hello, everyone. Thank you to the Spa Life team for inviting me to come and present to you today. I am quite sure that most of you have so much knowledge and wisdom that we could all benefit from all of your expertise. So thank you for being here. I am going to share some of my stories, some of the journey that I've been through. I am not going to lie. I am going to be very honest and tell you that the spa and wellness industry has been so good to me. And I want to share some of that wisdom with you. And what I mean by being good to me, it's actually become such an intrinsic part of my life as it has with you. I think that with spa and with wellness, when we fall into it, when we learn it, when we dedicate our time and our life to it, it really does become part of your very lifestyle. You breathe it, you live it. And one of the things that I've been realizing as I've traveled extensively around the world with this work is that more and more people want to know about it and not to assume that they know so much about it. I'll explain more about that. For me, spa and wellness, it's something that it feels like a bit of a bubble at times. We have our spa communities, we have our wellness communities, we go to our salons, we go to our spas, and we understand this language. We take it for granted that some of that language may translate to the public. So I'm going to share some of that wisdom with you today. I'm going to tell you some of the things that I've learned along the way. But first, I'm going to start with one of my favorite quotes that I use very much in my everyday life, my family, and also when I'm mentoring others in the industry. So my favorite quote is that everything is energy, and that's all that there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality that you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Albert Einstein. Everything around me, everything around my clients, everything around my practice falls into that philosophy. Well, it's my philosophy, but actually it's physics. So let's have a look at it a little bit deeper. So this is one of my favorite, I'm going to say, quotes that I use on the mentoring platform. So this is written by a lady called Daisy Finer. She's the spa editor at Condé Nast Traveler, and I'll read it with you. Stellar spas are not just about good looks. They're about the special gifted people that work in them, the sort of people who work on the deeper energetic levels of being. Nothing is more disappointing than receiving what feels to be a rolled out, standardized treatment. Worse still is when the treatment ends and you are given the hard sell on further products you should buy, when you have in fact been looking to the treatment itself for a solution. The places I love are the ones where the therapists have been given the confidence and the permission to follow their deeper intuition and work with your particular body at that particular moment. Such a therapist belongs to the realm of healers, and I believe not just the spa industry, but the world at large needs more healers. All too often, people at the top don't seem to realize that such a touch can be taught, nurtured, and fostered. They can only seem to be interested in ticking forms, and cash flow, and yet find a good healer, and that person can become a word of mouth legend. So why am I sharing this with you? When I began my journey in spa 25 years ago, this narrative did not exist. The realm of healers, giving therapists intuitive permission to work with our clients. There is something about building beautiful spas, managing them so effectively, and yet when we look at our team, we can often tread over that our good-looking operational spas are actually not the beating heart of your spa. We know that our teams are important. When I stepped up and began teaching and mentoring, these became 3-year platform hand-holding mentoring sessions with teams, because what happens is we train, we have a passion, we want to teach, and then somewhere along the line, we become part of those ticking cash flows, operational, and our teams can often feel overworked, underpaid. Lunch hours are terrible. I've done it. I've worked in spa for 25 years. Why I'm sharing this with you, if your team is not the beating heart of your spa, they need to be. Let's move forward. Now that seems like an obvious conversation. They should be. Of course they should be. But how do we create these word of mouth legends? Well, let's take it back to understanding that touch and the power of touch. I believe there's a new emerging language in spa, and it's something to do with this: a listening ear, a kind word, the smallest act of caring, all have the potential to turn your life around. Our clients have changed. They travel the world. They are savvy. Be sure that when they rock up at the check-in, at the reception, most of the time they've been to more spas than your staff. They've probably been trawling the internet for information. They've done more IGTV lives on face massage, Ayurvedic, fasting, cleansing, intermittent fasting, blood analysis, urine analysis. They know so much. And if we don't know as much, I'm not saying we should all be experts, but just know that when they come in, they are as much experts now as most of our teams. Our teams need to understand the language of spa moving forward and wellness, and that means that we're constantly needing to spend X amount of hours a week looking at what the current trends are, not just looking at what competition are doing, but also spas become mainstream. So that's where we need to start also looking, what are the current trends? What products are selling in the markets? Not just our spa brands, but what are these niche brands that are popping up? Care, time, kindness. These are all products being sold. Sold? What do you mean? You can't bottle that stuff. No, you can't. You have to become it. This for me is where wellness is going. Kindness, compassion. If we could bottle it, we would not be looking at cash flow because we'd have an abundance of it. So when you start looking at people's hearts instead of their face, life becomes clear. I believe that our consultations are going to have to change. We do need to understand their medical forms, but currently, most of our consultation forms end at, do you have diabetes? Do you have any epilepsy? Are you on any medication? Those forms are changing and they have to change. How do you feel today? We need to find out emotionally, where are people at? I would like you to consider that every person that lays on your treatment beds has heartache. But doctor, I have heartache. Well, I can't see your heart aching. But I do see that in the left artery, there is a block. Well, should we disregard that I feel sad? Sadness. There's no pill for sadness. But I feel sad and I feel melancholy and I can't get myself out of it. And my mother's had an operation and I feel depressed and I don't want to go to work. And if you do not ask the questions, and I do not mean pry into people's lives, but be sure when you're asking what medication are you on, yes, you are prying into their private life. It's just changing the narrative. We have to treat every single person as if they are in heartache. How would you touch them? How would you care for them? How would you be with them? Energy translates. A smile, a kind word. This for me is the future of where we are going. You can design spas however you want. Bells and whistles. You can put the leading brands in there. It's not going to be enough. We need to fulfill the gaps that are being created by where we're at globally as humankind. This for me was the biggest teaching that I've learned in teaching our therapists who know everything about their anatomy, everything about the product houses. We're teaching our therapists to have more care, because when we turn up at work, we've got X, Y, and Z going on for us. And that's what shows up and translates in our treatment rooms. That chatter of what goes on for a therapist, that invisible chatter, translates into the treatment. I know when my therapist's intention is focused just on me. And I'm not speaking about that she has to be, or he has to be, a Reiki master healer, Ayurvedic. Just your intention is what is making the difference. You cannot bottle that. You can foster it. You can nurture it, as we've said. You can teach it. You can become it. So I honestly believe, I took this picture from one of my favorite spas in the world around 15 years ago. It was at a place called Huvudfemfushi. They had something called a dream calendar that I'll cut to within in a second. But I took this at sunrise on the morning we were leaving. I didn't want to leave. Ask me what was so special about that place, and I've racked my brains to tell you. The place had soul. They were the first of their kind to create a concept destination spa retreats. It was just the care and the love that oozed through all of their staff. And you know what? That's another word, love. You rock up every day and you tell your team you love them. Of course, you're not going to do that. Why not? Why not? Now, it's a big word, love, but actually the love and the creativity and the passion that we take to work every single day with us, that for me is the future of wellness, because that's what people need. Massage nurtures a stable ground for a healthier, more serene existence. It can help bring us closer to a life of harmonious longevity. My friends, 50-minute sports massage, pummeling, taking away people's breath because they think that it's good for them and they're going to get something out of them. It's not going to cut it anymore. People need to feel that we own their bodies for that hour. What do I mean by own their body? Well, if I've taken the time to understand that that person has conflict, emotion, I can see from the way that they're speaking to me that something's up. I'm not sure what it is. I don't need to delve further. I feel just from her breathing or his breathing on the bed in the first 3 minutes, if I've ignored their breathing, I don't know where they're at. Are they breathing? What's this conversation about solar plexus? I don't understand it. You don't need to. Just get that if you haven't observed the patient on the bed, you've missed the whole point of the treatment. Awareness, awareness, awareness. It's not enough to do those consultation forms. It's not enough to go through those protocols. I've been spa trained, retail trained, protocol trained within an inch of my sanity. I can promise you in 25 years, there was not one winning formula. Instead, everything is inside of me as a therapist and my ability to want to share that with other people. What am I sharing? Am I sharing a sports massage? Am I sharing a facial? No, I'm sharing my essence. I'm sharing my essence. And that for me is another part of the future of wellness, that people need to feel us and we need to feel them. And I'm not just talking about their physical bodies. So this was one of the projects that I worked on when I began training the method of excellence. I really felt that there was this gap in the hotel industry and the spa industry where you could check into any hotel in the world that was one of your favorite hotels, right? And you knew how the pillows were going to be, and you knew how the hotel foyer was going to smell when you checked in, and you knew that when you got there, it was going to be X, Y, and Z. I know all of that, but when I checked into the spa, I went from checking into my luxury hotel into possibly a 4-star hotel spa, or maybe even a 3-star. shock horror. Your treatment rooms, when that door closes, the team is responsible for continuing your message, your brand. Everything that you have ever wanted to build gets left where? In the hands of your therapist. Why? Let's have a look at a treatment room. Your guest comes in, they're not adorned with jewelry, and if they are, it's a bloody headache. Get them to take it off. They have nothing to say what their status is. They haven't brought their wallet. You don't know where they're from. You can't judge them. We often do. When they lay on that treatment bed, they're exposed. They're in the most vulnerable position you could have them, with no clothing. You don't even know how they feel about their bodies. And body shaming in spas, let's talk about that in a second. So the most vulnerable place that you get them is on a treatment bed. You have 1 hour to nail that whole brand that has been built. People take away one thing when they come be with you. They only ever take away with them how you made them feel. In the end, that's all we remember. So the point of this slide that was in European Spa magazine is just to highlight, it's the work when the Lanesborough Club and Spa wanted the best of the best of the best in British. They aligned themselves with a few British brands, and then my mentoring platform was one of them, and the quote just says that good is just not good enough. So the future, brand collaborations, bringing your experts in. Of course, we don't know everything. You don't know what you don't know. You're going to see around so many collaborations now, whether it's people are in it for the money, whether people are in it for an exposure. Mine came very organically for me, working with Goop, which is Gwyneth Paltrow's wellness platform. I want to talk about it for two reasons. One is wellness has moved mainstream now. Everybody's talking about wellness. Soon we're going to have to create a new word for it, because wellness is going to be so done that we're going to need some new language, and that excites me too. But the purpose of sharing this with you, wellness has moved into a place where anybody can take it now and put their identity on it. That wasn't the case before the internet, before social media. So brand collaborations, retreats, bringing in experts, having the dream calendar that Huda Femfushi collaborates on, that was the first one of its kind I'd ever seen in the world. I then went back and did an intelligent facial tour, we called it, with all of their hotels around the world, which was really interesting. So Goop for me has been a pleasant experience. Started off as a client relationship, and then we went into being invited to teach at their summits. So in Goop Health, very clever, in Goop Health Summit, that for me is where my journey took me. Being able to impart our wisdom with more than one person at a time. Let's have a look at what COVID's done. Our spas are closed. We can't touch our clients. People are at home. They're buying and buying. One of the biggest selling trends was people buying wellness and spa at home. People learning how to do facial massages. People learning how to do breath work. Courses at home, people learning how to fast and juice and all the intermittents, what I've been talking about. So teaching our clients by digital, I do not believe for a second, and this is a personal belief system, that COVID is going to be the last conversation. If we continue to manipulate plants and animals and the earth, then there'll be a time where we no longer remember what it was like to live without disease. If you go back through medical books, there are times when diabetes was only on very thin people and not obese people. Disease has changed as we have changed. So let's think about how to put in structures so that if X happens again, or if X happens in a different way, or parts of the world happen in a different way, we still have online programs that our customers can tap into. And then you own all of that information. Again, this is a brand collaboration, becoming experts within other people's expert platforms. Look at how you can collaborate with them and drive that content that you're going to create, how it can already have a place if it needs to have a place. And this one was a beautiful International Achievement Award that I received last year at the Madame Figaro Achievement Awards. Why am I telling you this? We all want to win awards. We all want to be great. We all want to stand out. We all want to be different. When I was asked to come and receive this award, the reason for winning the award was just for sheer hard work, passion, and determination. You don't see a list of my bio that comes up on the screen. You don't look at my qualifications. Hard work, passion, commitment, striving for excellence. Excellence for me means going above and beyond at every corner, at every touch point, every time I'm with a client. You don't know who's on your treatment bed. Just remember, everyone that walks through your door has heartache. How would you treat them? So the Method of Excellence was born 2015, just out of a sheer need to want to impart wisdom with other people. How many people can you see one-on-one for 20 years? There's only a certain amount of people that is going to impact them and me. And it'll impact their families because they'll feel great. But then at some point it was, hey, you know what? I've been to enough luxury spas around the world. And actually, when I check into the hotel and I check into the spa, for me, there was a gap that was growing, that was driving me insane. Like, I want them to be the same. I want to have the same expectation. But therapists are human. So whatever's going on for them is what's going to go in the treatment room. It doesn't matter how much teaching you give them. The main teaching and the main thing that's going to change in the world for me right now with spa is consciousness. Consciousness creates everything. Mentoring is giving of oneself completely to another individual, being totally invested in that person, being totally present, and being beyond what is necessary. There's no point in creating any programs if you are not going to be 100% committed to giving above and beyond. Otherwise, just don't show up. It just doesn't cut it anymore. We've evolved so much as humanity, but the one thing I think what is necessary for wellness is consciousness. You can build the spas, you can have the best architects, you can put in the best treatment products and plans and protocols, but we're shifting consciousness. That's how you develop soul in your team. That's why Hugo Femfushi, that soul work. Even Wagamamas put soul in the bowl. It's everybody's talking about soul. And if you don't have soul, well, we need to find it. We need to find it. So let's go back to that beautiful phrase. Consciousness, right? Consciousness creates reality, mind over matter. That's where spa is going, mind over matter. Science is now proving that your mind is so powerful that it can change the structures in your body. What do you mean it can change structures? Well, let's have a look at this for a minute. 1 minute. Your brainstem is constantly sending information to your organs, to your heart. I feel sad. I feel sad. Your livers. I feel angry. I feel frustration. I feel frustration. Sending it into your intestines. I can't let go of this process. I'm so upset with this person. I can't handle this situation. I'm going to shut down. I'm going to feel depressed. More cortisol. This is what I mean by looking at people through their heart. Stop looking at them with this lens of, do you fit into my tick list of questions? Have I asked you all the right medical questions? Shift your gaze and you will truly be able to see what is going on for an individual. Everything is energy, and that's all that there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not as philosophy, this is physics. Albert Einstein, the biggest mind over matter inventor for me was Albert Einstein, and we need to look at that, pin it up in those staff rooms and read them as our mantras. The last thing, some of the things where I think we really need to develop more of, I've called it the road not taken. So these are the things where I think in spas as a guest, I haven't really been looked at them from that way, and I would like to when I'm visiting more spas. So the road not taken yet, sleep, big business. If you're not talking about sleep in your spas and how little or bad sleep people are having and how we can affect that and help them to transform that, we're missing a trick. Anxiety disorders, depression, these all fall under emotional wellness. Again, looking at people for what's really, really going on for them. Well, anxiety disorders, it affects 1/6 of humanity. Apparently, we need to look more into that. I'm not saying that you have all the answers. We are not doctors, but we can look to work with experts, and we can have our teams trained at least in a narrative or a conversation that enables you to have some kind of dialogue with your clients. It's not good enough to say, oh, okay then, and just move on. You need to at least, if you don't know how to have empathy, you need to have it taught to you. You can't buy that in a bottle. These are the things that I've learned. Gut health, that mind-body link, gut health, huge. Looking at that microbiome, not just in the gut, but let's have a look at it on the skin. I also find that when I visit spas, they don't really analyze my skin, and it's more the therapeutic side. And then when I began mentoring the method of excellence, I actually found that most therapists had stopped consulting the client on their skin and made it mean that they had to be super relaxing, therapeutic. No, we have all these brands. We invest all this money, tens of thousands of pounds on each brand. Why are we not still doing some kind of skin analysis? Give your clients value. They shouldn't be going to a beauty salon and then coming to you. We should be able to cover all of that. We all have that training within us. We kind of blur the lines a little bit on that. Bringing your experts, which I've looked at. Breath work. If you're not aware of how your client is breathing, you've totally missed the point. Breath work is everything. Oxygenating the brain, oxygenating the heart, the kidneys, the liver, the intestines. All of this is available for free when you do breath work. Learn breath work. If you're going to buy anything for your teams, get them a breath work guru, sign them up for an online course, and teach them how to breathe so that they can pass that information on. Learn about menopause. One of the biggest click buttons on the internet right now is women going through the menopause and looking for more information. Again, we are not doctors, but get yourself versed in what is perimenopausal, what is the menopause. Most people don't even have any idea what it looks like. You need to know. You need to be able to have an empathetic conversation. Electrical illness. We know that energy flies around everywhere. We know that it moves through not just our bodies, but it moves through wires. It moves through the air. Well, you can't anticipate the damage or what's really going on, and we won't know for years and years to come. But there are more and more people coming in fried and frazzled from all the radiation that's going on out there. For me, that's a big, big trend that we're going to lead into, and we need to look at that. So consciousness, reality, shifting that, investing in your spa teams, offering clean, simple, authentic, mission-driven. Don't listen to too much noise. There's so much intervention going on out there that we think that everybody wants to look the same or have intervention. Don't blur your lines. Keep authentic. Keep your messages, keep your treatments and your therapists up to date and current. I mean, I could talk a lot. I'm Greek, I'm a woman, and I'm a Leo. So we could be here for a very long time. I hope that it's helped. It's really hard to get it all into 20 minutes, but we're going to hand over to questions and the brilliant team back at Spa Life. And I wish you an extraordinary day. Take lots of notes, read them back, and implement them. And I hope that we can have this conversation face to face in the future. Handing back over to the Spa Life team.